Welcome to Homebrewing TV. Today I'll be making a beer called Liquid Almond Joy, and I'll be using the brewing tool, the Brewfather. And I'll be taking you all the way from the conception, all the way through till tasting. And I'll show you along the way how the Brewfather can help you conceptualize, brew, and track your beer throughout the entire brew cycle. Stick with us. Welcome back. Okay, so a little bit about the Brewfather. First of all, they're not paying me at all to review this. This is just another brewing app that I wanted to try out, and I found it to be pretty good as far as brewing apps go. I mean, none of them are perfect, but this one is a step above, I believe. Now, the Brewfather is a web-based interface, which is nice because you can use it on any web-enabled device, be it an iPhone or an Android phone or any tablet you want. As long as you have access to the internet, you can use the Brewfather app. Here it is on the computer, and let's just go through some of it. The recipes you can have, these are all the ones that I have in my Brewfather account. There are many ways to sort them. You're able to import recipes using a couple of the different standards, or you can create a new recipe. I'm going to name this one Liquid Almond Joy, and I'm going to make sure I've got my setup. So I'm going to change this. Just make sure I've got my setup in here. That's fine. I know I'm going to be using a 90-minute boil, so I'm going to change that to 90 minutes. And as for a style, we are going to go with an experimental brew because I don't really think this is going to fit into anything in particular. So experimental beer. Now we're going to start adding fermentables. I know I want to use brewer's malt, and I get it from Breeze, so I'm going to do that. It's a base malt, and let's go 15 pounds. Put that in there, and let's add pounds of that. So as I changed all that, you could see that this image was changing based off of the SRM that it's getting. Now let's add some hops. I'm only going to be using a little bit of hops. I don't want this thing to be real bitter, but I do need something to cut the sweetness. So we're going to go with Target hops. If I spell it right there, I'm going to Target hops. And only 1 ounce of that. And I'm going to put that in 90 minutes into the boil. And that brings our IBUs up a little. Alright, now what else we've got in this thing? We're definitely gonna need some cocoa paste. I'm wondering 3 ounces of that. And anything dark always seems to be better with a little bit of vanilla beans. So put in some vanilla beans. I don't think I want to put in 3 per gallon. I think I'm just going to put in 3 total, and that's going to be in secondary. Now the yeast. What do I want to use for yeast? So M15, that Mangrove's Jack Empire Ale yeast is pretty good. I like that one for a sweeter, darker recipe. Okay. Now we need to calculate how much yeast we're going to need. So if we look at this, it's saying I either have to make a starter or I need 3 packages of it. Well, dry yeast is pretty cheap. I'm just going to use 3 packages. So we'll just save that amount. So now I'm up at the 3 packages. And a mash profile, high fermentability. Yeah, let's just go with that. So we got 149 for fermentation. Our strike temperature is already set based off of our equipment profile. We will ferment it. Let's change this. I'm going to be using a pressurized vessel. So primary would be 68 degrees for 7 days. And then I'm going to add a step. And this will be our secondary for another 7 days. I'm going to keep the pressure up at 12 psi. What temperature? And we'll just keep it right at the same temperature. Now our water. Well, what are we going to use for water? I think I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to use Cedarburg water, which is my default. That's why it's in here already. So I'm just going to use my Cedarburg water. If I wanted to change that source, I can go in here and pick whatever water source. If it's going to be RO water or whatever, I can just use that. My default is Cedarburg. That's where I am. So I've got the Cedarburg water. And acid to mash. Bring this down. So as I'm adding lactic acid up here, it's telling me what the pH of the mash is going to be up here. Oops, that's too far. Okay. There we go. Hit about 5.2. Yep, except I know that I'm using 88%. So I gotta change this again. I hate doing points. I'll just do 16 milliliters. That's close enough. 5.23. Save that adjustment, and I should add the lactic acid to that. And, oh, you know what? One more thing here. Right now, the way it's set, it's saying that this is going to come out to be really malty. I don't want it super malty. So I'm adding gypsum. I'm going to get a little bit more of a balanced beer out of it. So I'll save that to it. And it's adding the salts and the lactic acid to our miscellaneous field up here. Alright, looks like we are all set to go. We got it named. So to start brewing, we will just hit brew. I'm going to go through and it's got a little exclamation point saying, hey, this stuff's not in stock. So now I've got exactly what I need to order of what. So these things I have in stock already. So well, that's all I got to do. Also gives you, if you put in prices and stuff, it'll give you an estimated total of what this beer is going to cost you, which is nice. So let me order this stuff. Once I get that ordered, we will head on over to brewing. Let's quickly talk about the rest of the functions. Batches are for every time you take a recipe and you brew that recipe, it'll create a separate batch so you can track every single time you brew that recipe. Devices, that's just what it sounds like. I've got a couple of tilt hydrometers set up to use with this software. Your inventory just keeps track of all your on-hand inventory, fermentables, hops, etc. I'll come back to library. Profiles is where you set up your equipment profiles. They have a whole bunch of preset ones. You can make your own just by clicking add profile. Mash, fermentation, water profiles, all that stuff can be added and adjusted under profiles. Alright, so there are a couple different ways. If you're not going to create recipes on your own, there's a couple different ways you can search for recipes. They've got a very great library full of recipes that are already been brewed using the Brewfather software, so you can just scroll through there. If you've got a particular recipe you want to find, let's say we're looking for Molly's Demise, you got it right here. You open it up, it tells you all about that particular recipe, and then you can copy that to your own account and start brewing it. Another way to search for recipes is if you go under styles. If you know the style of beer you want, you can come look through here and find a style that you want to do. Let's say we're going to do like a double IPA. It's going to give you all the information you ever wanted about a double IPA. And then if there's a recipe in the library already that uses this style, you can click on that. It'll give you all the information you want about it. And then you can just copy that to your account. So now we'll go back to recipes, and it's right there. So now I can open up that recipe. I can change it to my equipment profile, and we'll save. It's going to ask me, do I want to scale this recipe? Yes, I do. I want to scale it to my equipment. So it'll give me all the ingredients scaled to brew that exact same recipe on my equipment. Today we're going to go and we are going to be brewing liquid Almond Joy. And I've got everything already set for it. So I'm going to go ahead and click the brew button. We'll go over and select brewing. We're going to change the status to brewing. Yes. And then we are going to start our mash timer. Alright. It says we need to heat 7.9 gallons of water to 179.8. Once that's done, I'll hit continue. And it says we need to add gypsum, lactic acid, brewer's malt, aromatic malt, victory malt, dark chocolate. And once I've added all that to the mash, I'll hit continue, and the mash timer will start. Okay, so now it's been going for a little bit. Let's go over to our phone, and we will open up our Brewfather app over here, and we're going to open up batch 13. As you can see, we are pretty close in sync. We're a couple seconds off, but it picks up right where we were. So if I were to go ahead and, just for the fun of it, skip to the next step on our phone, mash is complete, we'll hit continue. And then it updates that automatically over the web to the Brewfather app on the browser. And then again on the browser, once I've added the sparge water, I can hit continue. And if I go back to the phone, it's updated on the phone. So we'll continue again. And it's saying, let's start our 90-minute boil. So I can go ahead and click that on the phone here. I'll say start that. And it's going to go, hey, we need to add our hops. We'll turn this down to 75%. We've added cocoa paste.
We're at the end of the boil. We're going to be adding the coconut and the almonds.
start this circulating. All right. And we just gotta cool it off and stick it into our fermenter. So I completed fermenting this beer. I didn't attach any tilt to it. I just did this one manually. So there's only a few entries. Not quite sure what happened here, but this is where we ended up. The liquid Almond Joy is finally ready. It has got a beautiful brown head on it. Nice dark color. I'm not getting very much coconut. A little bit of coconut on the nose. A little bit of chocolate and roastiness, not too much. Let's give it a try. Oh, it's very silky mouthfeel. It dries out at the end. Kind of gives it a nutty flavor. So we're hitting the nuts, we're hitting the coconut. There's a little coconut flavor in there, some chocolate. There's just a little bit too much roastiness for my taste, but I think we hit a pretty close, not a home run, but we definitely got to third base. So the liquid Almond Joy, I'm going to rate that. I want to give that probably a 3.9. Close to the candy bar, but slightly more bitter. And that, in a nutshell, is how I used the Brewfather to brew this recipe. If you have any questions about the Brewfather app or the recipe, put those in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer those for you. Until next time, keep brewing, my friends.
In addition to this channel, you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button and remember to also click the bell icon so that you can be notified when there's new content available.